So guys, today I continue the tests with stealth. A lot of people were complaining that it really isn't realistic to use stealth for you to actually win an engagement in ground battles against an AA system, or that it's just not gonna be useful enough. And today I wanted to do some tests again to actually prove to you guys that if you use it correctly, it can actually be very, very useful. Is it going to completely change the game? It's going to be game-changing in these terms of just killing everybody in a game itself? No, it's not. But it is fun to actually take a look on how stealth can actually change the way that you think about stuff and the way that you actually are using an aircraft to do a bombing mission. Remember, this is a bomber, of course, right? So we did some tests, testing it out. How would it be in an actual battle, right? So I grabbed a friend and I put him in a Tunguska. Why a Tunguska, not a Panzer? Because this is a 10.0 vehicle, guys. There's no reason to add a Panzer because obviously the Panzer is made to detect stuff like this, and of course it is a 12.0 BR. So there's no reason. I wanted to have an AA system that is Russian, around in the same BR range as the F-117, that it's going to be from the 80s, just like the F-117. And yeah, the Tunguska is one of the best ones out there, right? So how did we do the test? Well, we tried a night battle and in a day battle. Basically, I was in the F-117 and I had a friend. I grabbed a friend and put him on a Tunguska in the match. I didn't know where he was. He didn't know where I was. And the objective was to kill each other, right? So to defeat the enemy. So I didn't told him how I would actually do this tactic, and he didn't tell me where he was going to be on the map. So trying to bring the variables to a more realistic environment, okay? So what was my strategy? My strategy, at first, I tried different things, but I think the most interesting and the one that most worked here, although we don't have still the GBU-27, which will really, really help this aircraft because it has the INS, right? The bombs that are in the F-117 right now don't have INS, and it tends to be a little bit harder to actually be precise when the target is moving too much, right? Because of the laser seeker and stuff. But still, once it actually gets the GBU-27, for sure it will be better, okay? It will be more reliable to get kills with it. But the strategy here was to fly low away from the battle more than 20 kilometers. I know that even if I am in a cold aspect shot over here, he will not detect me by any means at 20 kilometers. And then I would use this 20 kilometer mark to climb. This is a very slow aircraft, guys, but you can climb very well. You know, it is still manageable. Of course, think about that aircraft will see you a lot easier than a Tunguska, depending on the aircraft, and they will kill you as well. So you gotta be careful with aircraft. But here we are trying to demonstrate that against AA systems, you are pretty much 100% stealth and 100% safe from any type of engagement over here. So we are at 17 kilometers. I know that for a fact that the Tunguska can detect the F-117 only at around 5 to 7 kilometers at up close. So my objective here is to identify where the target is. So I did that in this case, for example, try to predict where he was going to be, activate the laser, open the bomb bay at the right time and deploy the bomb, and just try to remain you know, undetected. That was my strategy at first. See, guys, he's not detecting me at this altitude. Why is that? Well, the thing is, this stealth is working. I'm stealth here, and he's not gonna detect me. But what about I'm gonna be closer than 5 kilometers at some point? So he will detect me eventually, isn't he? Well, yes, but the thing is, until he actually detects me, I'm already in the cone of silence of the radar, which means that I am completely invisible. He's using thermals, he's using the IRST, he's using the radar, he's using everything to try to detect me. He doesn't know where I'm coming from. Of course, this is part of stealth, and I just do a mistake over here with the seeker and stuff, and I will eventually miss this first bomb, okay? But the thing is, he didn't detect me. He didn't see me. He wasn't knowing where I was by any means. I really thought the bomb was going to hit. But like I said, the FOV of the GBU-12s and stuff is really bad. It's really small, so you gotta be really precise with the bomb drop. And of course, the GBU-27 would fix that, okay? Just for you to know. I had also a JDAM over here that I used to just go after him and destroy him, okay? But the thing is, guys, if the Tunguska doesn't know where you are, it's difficult for it to actually visually identify you. That's the thing about the F-117. It's not about not being able to be locked on. It's not about being able to evade missiles. It's about not being detected at all. Once a target doesn't know where you're coming from, so you change, you just don't spawn in and go straight to the target, it means that the target won't know where to expect you visually, and he will try to use the radar. But then he's not gonna detect you because of the things that I talked about. He's not gonna detect you because I'm flying with a stealth aircraft that can get to the cone of silence undetected, and then after that, he's dead. Right? So this is the thing that you have to worry about here. It's not that stealthiness is something that you can just fly straight to the target and, you know, not gonna be detected. You will be detected eventually. The thing is to remain undetected until you deploy both your bombs, and then you can RTB. And then you're already too far, too high up, or just too far away for a missile to actually hit you. You need to remain undetected. If you get detected, you are dead. Okay? You gotta think it like this. If not, the F-117 doesn't work as a weapon. If you are detected, you need to just turn away and try again from a different position, trying to remain undetected. Okay, so here are the night battles. It is a little bit harder to see an aircraft, but we're gonna show a little bit of a different gameplay later as well in a day battle, okay? Here I did a mistake. I climbed too much. Why not climb to 10,000 meters or 7,000 meters and just basically destroy the targets from a very, very far distance, because then you have the ballistics to actually deploy the weapons from further away, right? Well, that's the problem. In this case, this is the only case that he did that. He made me know, like he let me know that I was getting detected. Why I was getting detected in this situation? Because of the contrails. Yes, guys, the contrails gave my position away. He noticed that I was here because of the contrails, not because I was being detected by IRST, because I was detected by radar or anything like that. The contrails gave my position. So instead of just going through with it and getting killed, I noticed that, so I lowered my altitude. I noticed where he was. It was around 5,300 meters. The contrails started in this map and in this situation, but he was seeing me. He saw me and he was firing at me. I eventually evaded the missile because it was so far away, and I tried again. So 20 kilometers again, and I come from a different position, not climbing too much. So it was difficult to be detected. That's the thing, guys. That's the thing that you need to do. And guess what? Here I was just having a lot of troubles detecting him. I wasn't being able to detect him, you know? I was having difficulties knowing where the AA system is. So, that's the thing. The F-117 is not gonna be impenetrable, invulnerable, that it's just gonna not get killed. You gotta use stealth to have time to look for a perfect target and remain alive undetected. If you get detected, you are dead. Always like this. This is the same match that I did before. I turned around, I fly lower, and in a lower altitude that it's not gonna see me, and I completely changed my approach. I climbed as well again, and he was trying to get me. He was trying to find me, but he was clueless, guys. He was clueless. He didn't know where I was. He didn't know that I had a bomb on him. I didn't tell him, obviously. He was just trying to hide himself in a rock, and try to detect me visually with the IRST, with everything. He was using every single type of detection method that he knew to detect me, but it wasn't good enough. That's what is going to happen with the AA systems when you are trying to kill them. They will not know that you are there. If they know you are there, you are dead. You know, so that's the thing. You gotta do a whole approach, and you gotta think about the way that you're flying. You're not gonna give the code aspect of the aircraft unless you are more than 20 kilometers, for example. You're gonna do a sideways climb and not a code aspect climb, because if you do a code aspect climb, he will detect you. You're gonna keep your bomb bay, just making sure that you're not gonna be detected. I don't know if Gaijin really implemented this yet, but you know, you're gonna do everything that you can to not be detected while you are doing the initial climb. And then after that, you can just fly straight to the target, and he will not see you completely. He will not see me, you know. Here we have an example of a daylight match. You know, I was doing the same thing, the same strategy. I was noticing where the contrail was. I was trying to climb and maintain a side aspect position while climbing, because if I went for a cold aspect, I'm gonna get killed. Trying to remain on the battlefield. This is the whole preparation that you need to do. This is what the F-117 needs. It's not an invisible aircraft, guys. A lot of people think it is just going to be, so it's in stealth. You can just fly straight to the enemy. It's not like that. The F-117, just like in real life, the Nighthawk will need you to fly in the correct way for the aircraft to perform its abilities, which is deploying a bomb without being detected. That's the objective. You know, so again, I'm doing the same. I didn't climb as much because I was afraid of the contrails. I was looking for the contrails and everything. Try to find him. Of course, with thermals is very easy. Of course, we only have one target over here. If I was in a normal match, there would be very amounts of targets. You can find one that you can try to deploy. I would try to remain to try and killing AA systems, just because they are the biggest threat to you, but you get the idea, right? So, and look at him. He's not making this easy for me, because he's moving, he's stopping, he's changing directions, he's being unpredictable. So I need to be really precise with my bombing here, because these bombs, they don't have GPS guidance together with laser or INS guidance. So if he's moving, GPS is just the JDAMs don't work. And of course, with the laser one, you need to be precise with the bombing. So I opened the bomb bay just before, I closed the bomb bay right afterwards. I just opened and dropped with CCRP. That's the main thing. I use CCRP and I try to maintain the lock. I maintain a level altitude to not be detected. And again, it happened again, even in the daylight, guys. He didn't detect me with radar. He didn't detect with the camera. He didn't detect me by any means. By the time I was close enough for him to actually detect me with the radar, I was already in his cone of silence. And then he was clueless again. Clueless, guys. He didn't know the bomb was in the air. He didn't know that the stealth was happening, and I did this just afterwards. He knew. I mean, this is the biggest proof of them all. I was telling him where I was. He was with cameras, with radar, with everything, trying to detect me, but he wasn't managing. I was telling him, I'm here, I'm in the same position, try to look for me. He didn't have a clue where I was. I managed to go through with the attack without him even noticing that I was here. I didn't kill him this time. I turned off the laser so that he would stay alive, just for him to know that I was there. I wasn't talking with him, you know. I wasn't saying, I mean, I said where I was, and then he detected me. See, he detected me, and then just to make sure I wasn't gonna get killed, I just completely evaded, right? And because of that, I lost the laser. It was kind of my fault, but to be honest, I was trying to show him at the end there. I said, don't move, just look at where the bomb was gonna be dropped, right? And, you know, it was fine. It was fine, it was easy, and I was alive. He would try to kill me, but he didn't have the energy. So it's you know, it's one of those situations, guys. The F-117 is indeed working very well. You just have to fly in the correct way. This is how the F-117 is meant to be used. Not flying straight to the enemy and expecting the stealth to carry you to victory with your bombs. The thing about this aircraft is the way that you fly, also with the technology involved with stealth, okay? So this is kind of the test that we did. Let me know in the comments what you think about it, and this is how you should use this aircraft, okay? Is it effective? Yes. But is it going to be game-changing? No. It's different things, okay? Subscribe, click the like button. I see you guys on the next one, and yeah, I hope you enjoyed. See ya, guys. Bye.